Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Practice English TV. I'm Mark, and I'm really happy you're here with us today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma. Thanks so much for joining us, wherever you're listening from around the world.
This is the place where we slow things down, relax, and practice real, natural American English together, step by step.
That's right. Today's episode is about something we all experience at least once in our lives, being late for work. Yeah, it happens.
Don't worry, we're not jumping into the lesson just yet. We're going to ease in, stay calm, and enjoy the conversation.
If you like learning English in a friendly and comfortable way, make sure to subscribe, like, and share Practice English TV with your friends.
All right, take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's get started together. All right, Emma, let's gently move into today's topic, being late for work. Just saying those words already brings up feelings for a lot of people.
Oh, yes, it really does. I think almost everyone listening right now has been late for work at least once, maybe more than once.
Exactly. And it's interesting because being late can mean different things to different people. For some people, being 5 minutes late feels like a big problem.
And for others, 5 minutes late feels normal, or maybe even early. That really depends on culture, habits, and personal style.
That's a great point. So today, we're not here to judge anyone. We're just talking about real life, real mornings, real traffic, real alarms that don't go off.
Or alarms that do go off, but we turn them off and say, just 5 more minutes.
Yeah, that moment feels so good, and then suddenly it's not.
So, Mark, when you hear the topic being late for work, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Honestly, stress. That rushing feeling, looking at the clock again and again, and feeling your heart beat a little faster.
I feel the same way. Even before you arrive at work, you already feel tired, nervous, or a little embarrassed.
And that's why this topic is perfect for English learners, because it's very common, very human, and very easy to talk about in daily English.
Yes, and today we'll help our listeners learn simple words, useful phrases, and natural ways to talk about being late without feeling scared or confused.
We'll keep everything slow, clear, and friendly, just like two coworkers chatting over coffee.
So, if you've ever been late, or if you're worried about being late in the future, you're in the right place.
All right, let's move on and start with a simple explanation of what being late for work really means. So, let's start very simply. When we say someone is late for work, what do we really mean?
In the easiest way, it means a person arrives at work after the time they are supposed to be there.
Right. For example, if your workday starts at 9 o'clock and you arrive at 9:10, you are late.
Even if it's only 10 minutes, it still counts as being late. That can feel surprising for some people.
Yes, especially for English learners who come from different countries. In some places, time feels more flexible.
That's true. In some cultures, arriving a little late is normal and not a big deal. People don't feel stressed about it.
But in many workplaces in the United States, time is very important. Being on time is often seen as being responsible.
And being late can sometimes be seen as careless, even if that's not true at all.
Exactly. You might have a good reason. Maybe traffic was terrible. Maybe your train was late.
Or maybe your child got sick, or the weather was bad, or your alarm didn't ring.
All of those things happen in real life. That's why it's important to know how to explain yourself in English.
And also how to talk about your feelings, because being late doesn't just affect your schedule, it affects your mood.
That's a great point. When you're late, you often feel rushed, nervous, or worried before you even arrive.
Sometimes you feel embarrassed when you walk into the office. Everyone is already there and you're the last one.
Yeah, that moment can feel very uncomfortable.
So today, we're not only learning vocabulary, we're learning how to talk about real emotions and real situations.
And we'll do it slowly, with easy examples, so everyone can follow along.
We'll also compare different lifestyles. For example, people who work from home and people who go to an office.
That's important, because being late for work looks different when your office is your living room.
Very true. You might be late to a meeting, but not late to the building.
So now that we understand the basic idea, let's move on to some essential vocabulary that will really help our listeners. All right, Emma, now let's slow things down and focus on some essential vocabulary. These are words and phrases people often use when talking about being late for work.
Yes, and if you're listening at home, try to repeat the words quietly or out loud. Take your time, there's no rush.
The first word is late. Late means not on time. It means after the expected time.
For example, I'm late for work today. That sentence is very common and very useful.
You can also say, "Sorry, I'm running late." That sounds polite and natural in American English.
Yes, running late is a very friendly phrase. It means you are late, but you are on your way.
The next phrase is on time. On time means you arrive exactly when you are supposed to.
For example, I try to be on time every day. That shows responsibility.
Another important word is traffic. Traffic means the cars on the road, especially when there are too many.
You might hear people say, there was a lot of traffic this morning. That's a very common excuse for being late.
Yes, and it's often true.
The next word is alarm. An alarm is the sound that wakes you up in the morning.
For example, my alarm didn't go off. That means it didn't make a sound.
Or you can say, I slept through my alarm. That means the alarm rang, but you didn't wake up.
That happens more often than people want to admit.
Another useful word is meeting. A meeting is a time when people come together to talk about work.
You might say, "I was late for the meeting this morning." That sentence is very natural.
The next phrase is stuck. Stuck means you cannot move or cannot leave.
For example, I was stuck in traffic. That's a very common sentence.
Yes, and you can also be stuck at home or stuck on the train.
Another important word is schedule. A schedule is your plan for the day.
You can say, my schedule was really busy today. That helps explain why your day felt stressful.
And finally, a very useful phrase is, "Sorry about that." It's a polite way to apologize.
For example, sorry about that. I'm late. Simple, polite, and very natural.
So we've covered some key vocabulary: late, running late, on time, traffic, alarm, meeting, stuck, schedule, and sorry about that.
Don't worry if you don't remember everything right away. We'll use these words again in natural conversations.
That's right. And now let's put these words into real-life English with a longer conversation. All right, let's imagine a real situation. It's a normal weekday morning. Emma and I work at the same office. The day has already started.
Yes, and in this situation, Mark is already at work, sitting at his desk with a cup of coffee.
And Emma is not there yet.
Yeah, not yet. So, Mark, you check your phone and see a message from me.
Right, I see your message and it says, "Hey Mark, sorry, I'm running late. Traffic is really bad."
That's a very realistic message. Short, clear, and polite.
So I reply and say, "No worries, drive safe." That's a common and friendly response.
Yes, it shows understanding. It doesn't add pressure.
About 15 minutes later, you walk into the office. You look a little rushed.
I do. I take a deep breath and say, "Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late."
And I smile and say, "Morning, Emma. Rough traffic?"
I nod and say, "Yeah, I was stuck on the highway. It was moving so slowly."
That sentence sounds very natural. You didn't give too much detail, but you explained the reason.
Exactly. You don't need a long story. Just a simple explanation is enough.
Then I might say, "No problem, we just started the meeting."
And I reply, "Thanks for understanding." That shows appreciation.
Now, let's imagine a slightly different situation. This time, you're late because your alarm didn't go off.
Oof, that's more embarrassing.
You arrive, sit down, and quietly say, "Sorry about that. I slept through my alarm."
That sentence is honest and simple. No excuses, just the truth.
And honesty usually feels better than making up a complicated reason.
Yes, and most coworkers understand. Everyone has had a bad morning before.
Now, let's practice another short exchange. I ask you, "Everything okay this morning?"
And I answer, "Yeah, everything's fine. Just a slow start today."
That's a great phrase, a slow start. It sounds calm and professional.
It doesn't sound dramatic. It keeps the mood relaxed.
So, listeners, notice how the language is simple, polite, and natural. No stress in the words.
And notice the tone. Even when you're late, you can sound calm and confident.
That confidence really helps in the workplace.
All right, now that we've practiced a realistic conversation, let's talk more personally about our own experiences.
So, Emma, let's talk honestly for a moment. Have you ever been late for work in your own life?
Oh, yes, definitely. I wish I could say no, but that wouldn't be true.
Same here. I think being late is one of those very human experiences.
For me, it usually happens on mornings when everything feels a little off. Maybe I didn't sleep well the night before.
Yeah, poor sleep can really change your whole morning.
Exactly. When I'm tired, I move more slowly. I forget small things. I check the time, but it doesn't really sink in.
I know that feeling. You look at the clock, but your brain doesn't react right away.
Yes, and then suddenly you realize you're already behind schedule.
For me, one of the most stressful moments is when I'm getting ready and I know I'm late, but I still need to do basic things.
Like brushing your teeth, finding your keys, or putting on your shoes.
Exactly. You can't skip those things, but every second feels important.
And your mind starts racing. You think, what will my boss say? Or everyone is already there.
That's true. And even before you arrive, you already feel pressure.
One time, I remember being late because of the weather. It was raining really hard and traffic was terrible.
Oh yeah, bad weather changes everything.
I felt frustrated but also helpless. There was nothing I could do to move the cars faster.
That's an important feeling to talk about. Sometimes being late isn't about being careless, it's about things you can't control.
Exactly. And when I finally arrived, I apologized and explained calmly.
How did people react?
Honestly, they were understanding. No one was angry. That really surprised me.
That shows how powerful calm communication can be.
Yes, and it taught me something. Being late feels worse in your head than it actually is in real life.
That's such a good lesson for English learners too. The fear is often bigger than the problem.
And now, when I feel like I might be late, I try to stay calm and focus on clear communication.
Same here. I send a quick message, explain briefly, and then I focus on arriving safely.
Safety is more important than speed.
Absolutely. So, listeners, if you've been late before, you're not alone. It happens to everyone.
And it doesn't define who you are as a worker or as a person.
All right, now let's move forward and talk about common daily situations where people are late for work. Now let's look at some common daily situations where people might be late for work. These are things many listeners will recognize.
Yes, and as you listen, try to imagine yourself in these situations. Think about what you would say in English.
First, let's talk about morning routines. Some people have very tight schedules in the morning.
They wake up, get dressed, eat breakfast, and leave the house very quickly.
If one small thing goes wrong, the whole schedule can fall apart.
For example, maybe the bus arrives late, or your ride cancels at the last minute.
Or maybe you realize you forgot something important and need to go back home.
That extra 5 minutes can easily turn into 15.
Another common situation is family responsibilities. Parents often have to help children in the morning.
Yes, getting kids ready for school can be unpredictable.
A child might feel sick, move slowly, or forget something at home.
And as a parent, you can't just leave. You have to take care of them.
In that case, being late isn't about poor planning, it's about responsibility.
Another situation is public transportation. Trains and buses don't always run on time.
You might hear an announcement saying the train is delayed.
And suddenly, everyone on the platform looks worried.
In those moments, all you can do is wait and maybe send a message to work.
Working from home also has its own version of being late.
That's true. You might not be late to the office, but you can be late to a video meeting.
Maybe your internet connection is slow, or your computer needs to update.
Or you simply lose track of time because you feel comfortable at home.
Yes, that happens more than people want to admit.
So, listeners, notice something important. Being late doesn't always mean being careless.
Often, it means life happened.
And learning how to explain these situations in English is very useful.
You don't need perfect grammar. You just need clear and honest communication.
All right, now that we've talked about situations, let's talk about feelings and opinions around being late. So, Emma, let's talk about how being late for work actually feels. Not just the situation, but the emotions.
For me, the first feeling is usually stress. My body feels tense and my thoughts start moving very fast.
I feel that too. Even small delays can make your heart beat faster.
There's also a feeling of guilt. You feel like you're letting someone down.
Yes, especially if other people are waiting for you to start a meeting or a project.
Some people also feel embarrassed. Walking in late can feel very uncomfortable.
That moment when all eyes turn toward you.
Exactly. But interestingly, not everyone feels the same way.
That's true. Some people don't feel stressed at all when they're late.
They might think it's okay, it happens, and they move on quickly.
This often depends on workplace culture.
In very strict workplaces, being late can feel serious and scary.
But in more relaxed environments, people may not care as much.
Another opinion some people have is that being late shows disrespect.
Yes, some people feel that way strongly.
Others believe that as long as the work gets done well, timing is less important.
There's also a cultural side to this. Different countries have different ideas about time.
That's so important for English learners to understand.
In American work culture, being on time is usually seen as a sign of professionalism.
But even then, most people understand that emergencies happen.
So the key is communication.
Yes, how you talk about being late often matters more than being late itself.
If you stay calm, polite, and honest, people are more likely to respond kindly.
That's a great life lesson, not just an English lesson.
All right, now let's move into some useful English phrases that listeners can use right away. All right, now let's slow things down again and focus on some useful English phrases. These are phrases you can use immediately in real life.
Yes, and as always, we'll keep them simple, natural, and polite.
A very common phrase is, "Sorry, I'm late." Short and clear.
You can also say, "Sorry, I'm late this morning." Adding "this morning" sounds natural and friendly.
If you want to sound a little softer, you can say, "I apologize for being late."
That one sounds a bit more formal, but it's still very natural at work.
Another useful phrase is, "I got held up." That means something stopped you.
For example, I got held up in traffic.
Or, "I got held up at home this morning."
You can also say, "Thanks for waiting." This shows appreciation.
Yes, instead of focusing only on your mistake, you focus on their patience.
Another helpful phrase is, "It won't happen again," but be careful with this one.
Right, only say it if you really believe it.
You can also say, "I'll make sure to leave earlier next time."
That sounds responsible and realistic.
If someone asks you why you're late, you can say, "There was an issue this morning."
That phrase is polite and not too detailed.
Or you can say, "I had a bit of a rough morning."
That sounds human and honest.
Now let's practice a short question and answer.
I ask, "Everything okay?"
And I answer, "Yes, everything's fine. Thanks for checking."
Simple, calm, and professional.
Listeners, try saying these phrases out loud later. Practice helps them feel natural.
All right, now let's move into some tips specifically for English learners. All right, before we wrap things up, let's share a few simple tips just for our English learners.
Yes, these tips are not about being perfect. They're about feeling comfortable and confident when you speak.
Tip number 1 is practice short explanations. You don't need a long story when you're late.
Exactly. One clear sentence is enough. Something like, "Sorry I'm late. Traffic was really bad."
Short sentences sound more natural and are easier to say under stress.
Tip number 2 is practice your tone, not just your words.
That's very important. Try to sound calm, not rushed or nervous.
Even if you feel stressed inside, a calm voice helps the situation feel smaller.
You can practice this at home by reading sentences slowly and clearly.
And the last tip is use English in real life, even in small ways.
Send a short message in English. Say a simple apology in English.
Real-life practice builds confidence much faster than studying alone.
And remember, making small mistakes is normal. It means you're learning.
Be kind to yourself. Language learning takes time.
All right, now let's invite our listeners to practice with us. All right, now it's your turn, listeners. Let's do a little practice together.
Yes, this part is just for you. You don't need to be perfect. Just try.
Here's today's question. Have you ever been late for work or school?
Think about it for a moment. Don't rush your answer.
Now, try to answer in simple English. You can answer out loud or in your head.
Here's an example answer. Yes, I was late last week because of traffic.
That's a great answer. Short, clear, and natural.
Here's another example. I was once late because my alarm didn't go off.
Very good. Honest and easy to understand.
You can also add how you felt. For example, I felt stressed, but my boss understood.
That sentence shows both the situation and the emotion.
If you'd like, you can write your answer in the comments in English.
Even 1 or 2 sentences is enough. Writing helps your English grow.
And reading other listeners' comments can help you learn too.
We love seeing your answers and your progress.
All right, let's take a calm breath together and move into our closing.
All right, we've reached the end of today's episode. And I just want to say thank you for spending this time with us.
Yes, thank you so much for listening, practicing, and learning with us today.
We talked about being late for work, but more importantly, we talked about real life, real feelings, and real communication.
Remember, being late once in a while doesn't make you a bad worker or a bad person.
What really matters is how you communicate, how you stay calm, and how you keep learning.
And when it comes to English, confidence grows step by step, just like this.
If today's episode helped you even a little, please subscribe to Practice English TV.
And don't forget to like and share this episode with anyone who's learning English.
Your support helps us keep creating warm, friendly, and useful content for learners around the world.
Keep listening, keep practicing, and most importantly, be kind to yourself.
We believe in you, and we're proud of the effort you're making.
All right, that's all for today.
Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye for now and happy English learning.